Hello and welcome to the live stream today. I'm Serena.Ryan and I have the amazing Antoinette Stonham with me today. Now, Antoinette is a personal stylist. Her business is all about style. And Antoinette is actually one of my very first clients from almost 8 years ago. And to see her thrive in business and life is truly an awesome thing to see. Today, I have her as a guest because I believe she has got some incredible insights and learning that anyone who is in business can gain from. And if you're considering starting a business, she also can help you understand the value of getting surrounded by the right people to help you do incredible things. Antoinette, my goodness, how are you?
I am good, Serena. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, look, it's great to have you. And I just love how we've set ourselves up today. We may be in different locations, but I feel like we're in a local coffee shop together, nice and intimate.
Yeah.
And we just have a few friends on the internet joining us today as well. I really would love for you to start with, can you share a little bit more about yourself and how did you get inspired to start your business?
Well, where shall I start? For me, I loved dressing up, and dressing up empowers me, makes me feel confident, helps me get out that door. And I feel dressing up just, is the ultimate. It puts you on a high, it lifts you and it elevates you. So when I first started thinking about doing this, I was going to networking functions. I was seeing women, and it was like a sea of black. There was no color, there was no personality. And I come across women that say, I love what you're wearing. I really would like to be able to do it. I just don't know how to put it together. So, with my background of pattern making and design, and the idea of being able to help people dress up and look good, I decided I was going to be a personal stylist. Now, bear in mind, that was at the age of 50 I decided to do that. I decided to pull away from a business that was existing, that was running, and to run my own show. I just felt, I was confident. I felt like I could do it. But I did have people to say to me, "You're crazy. Do you think this is really going to work?" I live in southwest of Sydney, so it's mostly working class. So a personal stylist, people didn't know what she did or what it's all about, and just thought it was for the rich and famous. And I wanted to let people know that it's for everybody, that everyone should feel good and everyone should feel empowered. And the first point of call is how you look, because unfortunately, people judge a book by its cover, and you only have that 7 seconds to make that first impression. So that's just a little
Mm.
bit about me and why.
It's interesting you say that. It takes 7 seconds to make a first impression. And you see how important that is to get that message conveyed, particularly from a visual sense. Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Mm.
It's visual. Visual is first. Visual is before people get to see your personality. They see and they make that judgment straight away. It's the same as people clicking on to watch us. They've looked at me, they've looked at you, they've made a judgment before we've said anything. Unbeknownst to themselves, it registers in the brain.
Yeah, it's a very interesting point. I'm curious, right? Because I personally know a lot about you, but I'd love those who are on the live stream to get to know a bit more um, about. I know you run now a very successful styling business.
Thank you.
And you started it from scratch at the age of 50, which is no
Yeah.
mean feat because I know many people at that age are looking towards retirement and you decide, no, I'm starting a business.
Yes.
And you came from a place where I say you start from scratch, but you also said you were attending networking events.
Yes.
So did you have business experience before you started this business at the age of 50?
I had business experience back in the early days when I was pattern making, designing. I wasn't my business, but I was really running it. And then when I left the pattern making, designing, I helped my husband in his business. So I had the knowledge of a business, But the one thing I didn't have, which was scary, was the social media side of things.
Mm.
So had no knowledge of that. I didn't even have a personal Facebook page. And for someone to say to me, you need Facebook, you need Instagram, and you need to put your photo on something, that was the part that I found difficult. Actually, the styling side of it, setting up the business, knowing who my target market was and how I'm going to go out there and market myself the old way. I knew all that. To run an event and launch an event, I had no idea about social media at all.
So, what made you think that you should be in social media?
Well, I realised that that is the way the word spreads. Like in the old way of networking and person to person, I still do that. I was there this morning. I had a early start this morning. I had a networking function, person to person. I still do the person to person, but you need that part of the social media to spread you further. It brings you connections, which eventually will develop into clients from all over. Like I've got clients in Brisbane, I've got clients in Melbourne. Through COVID, I picked up clients in New Zealand. And I've got clients regionally and I do them online. So they were the things I had to learn. So being in business is learning every single day and learning from different people and experiences. And you can't think that you know it or you've mastered it. You've got to keep learning.
I find that fascinating because the way you say keep learning is things that always seem to be changing, right? So,
Definitely.
for you to have actually stayed in business, do you think that's been a key to it?
I've had to learn and I've had to change. Like even 10 years ago when we started with Facebook, it was just a photo. It was just a picture of, well, I had to put my whole face because I quickly realized that for people to connect, they had to see a person. So I learned that. And then, I'm poddling along, and then up comes videos. Oh my goodness me. I've got to actually get up there and do a video. So then I had to set up a tripod and a camera and a screen and stand there and actually teach people about different things with styling through a short video. Then
Have
you
you
master that and then you
have
think,
you
oh, okay.
that's the thing. Have you found that by doing those videos that's been helpful?
Videos are gold. I've realized, and it's from people. Like I go places and people say, "Oh, watch your videos. I love your videos." I got a message from a lady, and I didn't know what the expression meant. She said, "I fell in a rabbit hole with your videos." I'm not very good with the expressions. I said to my husband, "What does that mean?" He said it meant that she couldn't stop watching them. So yeah, the videos are good, and it doesn't matter how long. People will actually, once they're interested in the first one, I find that they'll scroll back or go back and look at your files and have a look and watch the videos. Yeah, the videos are gold because people get, especially for me,
Yep.
I'm a little bit out there. I want people to know me and know what I'm all about so they can connect with me, so they can know whether they'll be able to work with me or not. Because you're not going to be able to work with everybody. You're going to be
Mm.
able to attract who you're going to work with. And that's how I attracted my target market is people who gelled with me, people who understood what I'm all about. And that's what the videos do.
I love that because your business is all about style, but you're so much more about what you've just said there. You're not actually about being there for everyone either, just because you're all about style and fashion. It's I feel like I've got so many questions I want to ask, but I also have put it out to my community and to anyone that's just tuned in because they've found that we're alive right now. Uh, Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel here with Serena.Ryan. That's me. And you'll have the opportunity to ask questions below because Antoinette is such a font of knowledge and so many things. Like the dress I'm wearing today, and with something we'll get onto talking about in a little while as well, is a Queen's Park dress. Now, I paid $18 for it. And if you know anything about fashion, as I've been getting educated by the lovely Antoinette, this dress would retail around the $300 mark. And I went op shopping with Antoinette. And when I talk about better budgets for business and life, Antoinette is one of the key people I think of because she demonstrates in so many ways how to make the most of what you have to have the life you want. And at a deeper level, when we're talking about business today and business insights and any questions you want to ask as well, it's whatever work you end up doing, it enables the life you want ultimately. And having someone like Antoinette on this live stream is a rare and incredible opportunity to ask someone who I believe who has accomplished exactly that. She's been able to use a business to have the life she wants. So please, I do encourage you, ask the questions. Don't hesitate. Don't be shy. Get in there because I am going to be out there asking a lot of questions today and you can learn, but there's something burning for you, whether it be about fashion, business, or life. Ask the questions, please. So, Antoinette,
Yes,
I'm going to
Serena.
continue asking my questions
Yeah, go
because
for it.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
You, what tip would you give someone who had just decided to start their business? What's the one thing you would say? You've decided to start business. What would be the advice you'd give them right then?
You need to be determined. You need to be consistent and travel in your own road. Stay in your own path. Don't look at what everyone else is doing and what they're achieving. Set your own goal, your own path, and that will be your success.
I really appreciate that because now, even 8 years into my business, I take great comfort in hearing that.
Yeah.
It's really nice to hear it from someone who's a step ahead. The business entrepreneurial life can often be an isolating one.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's enough conversations about that, that determination and staying in your lane. And I think that leads me into something I do know about you is that you said, you've also shared it today, you started your business at 50.
Yes.
Why 50?
I felt it was the right time for me. It was right timing. I'd raised my children, I'd helped my husband set up his business, and it was something that I was passionate about. I think passion really drives you. And I don't look at age as a number. I just look at it that, hey, why should it stop me? Why shouldn't I do it? It's not just for 20 or 30-year-olds. So what if I'm 50? I've got life experience. Got experience in fashion. I've got experience in body shape and I've got experience in business. So why not? Yeah, the question is why not? Don't let your age or a number, whether it be your size or your budget, stop you from doing what you want to do. My big thing is never let a number define you.
Well said. There's so many numbers out there, and I find that great irony because my passion is talking about better budgets, which is all about the numbers. But that's the thing. Like, what numbers do you think are important?
Oh, wow. Let me see. I suppose if you're looking at how many clients or how much you want to make, yeah. So if you're looking at how much you want to make in a business, what's your sense of success? So you've got to, I don't look at, you've got to make a three-figure income in whatever years or whatever days, or, you see all these posts come out, make 10 grand in, join a coach, make 10 grand in 3 weeks or, this. So I don't look at it that way. I work backwards. I look at how I want my lifestyle to look. What do I need to make it work for me? And then I set my numbers up that way, as for a business, as for a figure. So so I
I
set
like
my
that.
own goals. I don't look at what everyone else is doing or what everyone else has achieved. Our sense of success is what you want out of it. and then you build on it. As you achieve it, then you build on it. So I don't look at everyone else's figures or what everyone else is saying they're doing or what they're not doing or how much they spend on certain things. That you will spend on your business to promote your business, to advertise your business, or spend on joining networking groups and how much you go there. It's all personal and it's all what you want out of it. And it's what the value is, what you get out of something.
That's the thing. I love how you say that. It's you define what you want in life
Yeah,
first. What
first. Yeah.
When you start with that, then you can find the important numbers.
Exactly, yeah. Then the numbers will fall together because you're writing down what's important to you. Do I want a holiday? Do I want to pay off my mortgage? Is there a bag that I'm aiming for? Like I have a lot of clients that when they succeed in business or they reach a goal, they treat themselves with an expensive pair of shoes or an expensive bag. If that's you, have that little budget, have that little bit going in there. Talking about figures, and I know we might be going off the track, but
I'll go for it. I'm all for that.
something I've always done from when I was a young girl, I've always put away a little bit away each week for me. It's
Yep.
called a me account. And it started off as when my children were young at $5 a week. That gave me $250. We're talking 43 years ago to spend on me or what I wanted. And that $5 didn't hurt anyone along the way. It didn't take away from the food off the table or off the mortgage. But at the end of the road, I had that figure. And as we earned more money and as time went on, I increased that figure and I still do it now. I'm 60 years of age and I still have a me account. So I feel everyone should have a me account, whether it be to have a facial, to treat yourself some clothes, whether it's to take your children away, whether it's to have a weekend away with hubby, or just a weekend by yourself. So
Yeah. Cheers to
that's
that. I
talking
feel
about
like I
figures.
need to say cheers. Got my
Yeah,
coffee in
talking about
hand.
figures and things like that. Yeah, I think, not just women, even men need a me account as
Mhm.
well. So, yeah,
Yep.
and that little amount could be your little goal and your little start off. And if you don't use it that year, then you add on to it and you get something bigger and better. But yeah, have that little me account that doesn't hurt anybody.
I realized just as you were about to share that incredible piece of advice, I was about to mention that account that
Oh,
I now have, and I'm putting $15 per pay in that account.
yeah.
It's not a huge amount,
No, I
but
put 20. I put
yep,
20 and I've got
yep,
a little bit over 1,000 at the end of each year for me.
yep. And that it was that account that I pulled together and called you and said, "Hey, I want to book in to do an op shop um, adventure."
Yeah.
And that was where I bought this lovely dress that I'm wearing today. It made me realize that particular experience, how much you help in many different ways to see how you can make the most of what you have.
Yeah.
And I was that, even now it's so profound for me. I created a YouTube video about it. And the fact that that particular day where you took me through the shops there to find things that would suit me, um, there's something you also just said about when you reach certain milestones in business.
Yeah.
Now, I started my business 8 years ago, just on 8 years ago. And I had this milestone I wanted because I've always been very enamored by fashion and watched one too many episodes of Sex and the City in the day, I think. I just love fashion. And the milestone I set for me when I reached a certain part of my business milestone was I wanted to take a $5,000 budget and go shopping and get myself a fashion wardrobe with $5,000. And through seeing your videos that you put out there, I started to get curious about op shopping. But at the same time, I had a bit of a niggling feeling because it's a really long held belief that to get designer labels, I had to spend a lot of money. And watching your videos made me start to get curious about op shopping. So again, not fully being convinced, but being curious,
Yeah.
I booked in and we did a op shop adventure. And that particular day opened my eyes to finding so many designer labels that people may have bought and maybe not bought with any kind of foresight at the time on whether it would actually fit or suit them. And they
Yeah.
donated them back to charity stores.
Yeah.
And I was staggered that particular day to spend $327. And I went home and calculated all those pieces, how much it was worth. And that was my $5,000 designer label wardrobe. I'd spent $327 on. And the interesting thing for me, a couple of things have happened. And it has helped me understand another way around our relationship with money and value, because the clothes are incredible. The quality is incredible. The labels are the genuine labels. Yet I didn't have to spend that amount of money to get what I wanted.
Yes.
It's a creative way of looking at things. And an interesting thing when we talk about numbers, the value of them. Sometimes we have to deconstruct what we think to actually see the value in what we have. So you've got quite a skill there to actually help people see the opportunity. Thank you.
Well, yeah, so it's something op shopping, something I used to do when we were a lot younger because fabrics were so expensive. We used to actually buy be more attracted to the fabric, and I'd buy it and we'd remake it and revamp it. And that was in the early days. We did a lot of that, buying and revamping, mainly for the fabrics because they were so beautiful. Now it's become a trend, sustainable fashion, and people love it. Some people love it, some people don't want to do it. So yeah, so I offered it as a service and it just took off. So, and I love it. I love sourcing it. I love seeing the expression on someone's face when they put on a brand that they couldn't afford, but that they've got it, and they've got it at a reasonable price, and yeah, it's good. Some of it's never been worn, some of it's still got tags on it.
It's quite fascinating, isn't it? Like you just don't realize. I think it's a good lesson in sometimes to be resourceful, you've got to look in the places you don't think for the opportunities.
Yeah, it's true. Very true.
And yeah, I find it interesting because like you talking before about how you found the opportunity with regards to social media. You knew you had no idea, but
Yeah.
you figured out you needed to use it to run you like to basically get known for your business.
Yes.
So I have mentioned that you're one of my very first clients. What I've found is that you are an incredible action taker. And what made you see the value in once you okay, you came along, we did some work together, but
Yes.
what made you see the value in what we were doing together? Like what was that tipping point for you?
For me, the value was that I knew I had to implement it, but then I could see results when I implemented it. And you understood that I had no idea. So you taught me to my pace. And that's what attracted me to keep working with you was you understood that I had no idea, didn't even have a Facebook page to start off with. So yeah, it was and it's not a matter, you've got to implement what someone teaches you. If you don't implement it and you don't have a go, you're not going to achieve and you're not going to see the value in what they're teaching you. So that's the big thing, is implementing it. And if you make a mistake, it doesn't matter. I've made plenty. And sometimes my spelling and my grammar isn't great. And my son will message me, hey, mum, like, what's going on? So, yeah, so little things like that. So my thing is, don't be scared. Have a go. If you make a mistake, it doesn't matter. And if you make a spelling error, it doesn't matter, really, unless you're a copywriter or something like that. But if you just you have an everyday business and writing isn't your core of your business, and if you make a mistake, it doesn't matter. Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
learning from you and me taking it and implementing it and asking questions when I don't understand. Hey, Serena, slow down. Where do I find it? How do I do it? And then I go back and do a bit of research myself as well on top of what you've taught me. So, yeah, so I remember when Instagram first started doing videos. I came to you, you showed me how to set it all up, and off I started with that. And I had a really good following on that before they pulled it as well. So that was in
Yeah.
the early days. So I've done a fair bit, and it's all learning and implementing. When it comes to videos, it's your lighting, it's your microphone, it's setting it up, it's knowing where to. And a lot of, if I'm doing something, I'm doing a little workshop, I've got to be able to stand up, and it's knowing your distances. So it's learning a lot of that as well as the technical on, getting the link and putting it on there. Things like that might be so simple to someone else, but for me it wasn't. I needed to learn it.
Yeah. There's lots of little things I appreciate because you're sharing. It's been over time.
Yeah.
Um, I think that's probably the most rewarding thing is that I've been able to work with you over time because then I can actually start to see the results and then see how you grow from there. Uh, and then we can tweak as we're moving. Like one of my favorite sayings is you can't steer a parked car.
No, yeah,
And
it's got to be moving. It's got
yeah,
to have some traction for you to be
yep,
able to fix and work on that traction. Yeah,
yep. And I love your setup there today as well because you, as you know, like the shop's shut down.
yeah,
We're going back a couple of years now, and you are able to transition into teaching online. When I remember you said, "How can I do this?" And you've, I love how you've got your mannequins in the background there, and
I run a full workshop as if I would run a live one in front of an audience. I run full back to work workshops just in this little section here. Yeah,
yep,
it's up and I can stand and I, can move back and show the garments and everything. But it's all learning and practicing. But yeah, I took a person to person business and then I had an online presence, but I had never properly done a workshop
yep,
or a styling session or a shopping trip. So I invested in the double screen. So when I do a shopping trip with a client, I've got the screen of the shopping of the garments on this side, and I zoom this way with the client. So I've had to learn a lot of different things. It was learning and trial and error.
absolutely.
Yeah, a lot of trial and error.
That's fantastic. I find your ability to, as you said, take action is what helps you stand out, and then being able to, yeah, be open to taking advice on what to do. It actually makes a
Yeah.
big difference.
Oh, definitely. I'll take advice because you're the expert. See, to me, I'll take advice from someone with their expertise, and that's what you need. Like, especially if you're a sole trader like me, you may not have employees, but you have a team. Like, I have a PA, I've got you, I've got a makeup artist that I work with, I've got other stylists I can call on. So, you need that team. You need
Yep,
a team to work with, and you need them all to understand what you do and be as passionate as you. Like, you're passionate in your field, I'm really passionate in mine. A lot of people say to me, how did you survive? How did you get to the 10 years and do what you're doing? Passion is huge. Passion to wanting to help people, that's, yeah, that's gold, because that's what drives you. And that sort of, like, I'm not scared of making a mistake, and I don't call it a mistake. I call it a learning experience. So I'll have a go, and if it doesn't look great on social media, well, I'll know not to do it next time. That's all. I'll know how to better it.
yeah. You, it's actually interesting that when you talk about social media, it's been Facebook and Instagram for you.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, and your ability to put yourself out there regularly and do it in such a way that I've seen uh, be a shining example for anyone listening today. I think this is something to take out of it is that you are interactive with your posts and you put them out there, and like you said, it just you get it out there, and you allow people to engage and they engage back with you, and your insights and analytics based on that enable you to grow your business to the size you want it to be without doing any paid advertising.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. I
Uh,
haven't done paid advertising. So,
yeah. And I remember we discussed whether you would do
yeah.
it. And when it comes back to what you said of how you were clear on what you wanted, what success looked like for you, what I see you as a brilliant example of is that clear on what it is that you wanted, as what success would look like. And then based on that, made the most of all the tools available to you organically first before needing to go to paid ads.
Yeah.
And the incredible thing is that you haven't needed to take that step into paid.
No, I haven't. And I'm happy with how it's grown organically. Look, I could be wrong, but I feel with the growth organically, I may not have a massive hundreds of thousands audience. The audience I have understand me, they understand what I do. A lot of them say they look forward to seeing my posts every morning to see what garments I've put together. So I feel by growing organically, I'm drawing my market. I'm drawing people that are attracted to me instead of going out there with ads and then attracting people and then they're dropping off or they're not being active on your page. Like you, yeah, so that's how I feel. Like I said, I could be wrong. I'm not the social media expert, but that's how I see it from my point of view is by growing it organically, I'm getting people that are interested in what
Yeah.
I do and interested in my passion and follow me for a reason.
It's an interesting one because I would say to you that you still get you can get high quality people
Yeah,
paying as
yeah,
well. It just means that you're accessing audiences that wouldn't necessarily have seen you otherwise. But what the key point to that for me is that you were clear on what it is you wanted and
yes,
how much capacity you had in everything else you wanted in your life. Like literally, you decided this is how I want to design my ideal life.
yeah,
That's what I want. And then have gone to that next step of making the most of the tools available organically. And you're able to achieve that without paid.
yes,
And where I see the gap in the market myself now, because I've been doing Facebook ads
yeah,
now for close to 7 years. And in that time of working with clients, consistently they end up spending less on ads if they focus more on organic first. And
yes,
people often come to me and they want to go, oh, I need you to understand Facebook ads. But when I've done an analysis of their online presence, they're not making the most of what's available organically first. And what that means is they just end up spending more money to get that visibility. So for me, I've gone, I hate people wasting money with a passion. And why would you go and spend money to get that audience if you didn't have to spend money to get that audience, is my
exactly,
logic.
exactly. Me too.
And it it's got me to a point of where I want to help people more. And that has been to have more people like yourself in a group setting where I can actually help more and do it in a way that enables a win win situation where I can grow people's businesses and their lifestyle. Because again, it's not just about the business, it's about the person behind the business. There's always a reason why you're running a business. And I think it's an interesting one, I feel, for you as well, because we've connected on a personal level as well as a business level. And part of that is the fact that I was, I was naturally curious when I met you from a fashion point of view and also from a family point of view. And it's the fact that you decided to raise your family and then gone, okay, now it's my turn. Your business has become a part of what you want for your life. And it's a for-profit business. It's not a business that you're just doing because, again, you could go and help people. Anyone can go and help people without monetary value
Yeah.
attached.
Yes.
However, this is me with my money work around this as well, is you go, well, money is about appreciation and an exchange of value.
Yeah.
And when you have your unique gift to the world, when people can give you that exchange of value, it gives that opportunity for everyone to get what they want. It becomes this win-win scenario, which is a beautiful place to be. But yeah, my curiosity with you was that I'd seen how much you value your family and how you also felt the value in creating a space for you as well as a part of that, and how we get that balance between both. And I noticed I think you did a social media post on the weekend. You do them from time to time,
Yes.
and you're a brilliant example of it, popping it out there, showing your incredible weekend wear outfit as a photo centerpiece, and then going, I'm going off to have fun with my grandbabies. You don't put your family out there. And I love that because you demonstrate that you have a family, but you don't have to put the whole family out there. And it's an interesting balance when we're in a world of social media and people go, okay, well, Serena's an expert in social media, but she doesn't necessarily put lots of posts out there or put lots of her family out there, or there's lots of things I don't put out there.
Yeah.
And what I see with you is how you've been able to grow so successfully by not putting parts of you out there, but at the same time thriving.
You. Yeah. I think it's a choice, and I choose to talk about my family. Like you said, on weekends, it was one of the granddaughter's birthdays. I put that post up. I'm off to play with the grandbabies. So that sort of lets people know something about me. I'm a mum. I'm a grandmother of 6. Sometimes I'll post myself out gardening because that's where I like to get lost, catching some vitamin D. I love to cook, so sometimes I think yesterday's post was I had a cancellation, so I had a me day. I had a day of catching up on my admin. I was out in the garden playing in there, and then I came in and I cooked a dish that I normally wouldn't have the time to cook. So that's me. I do share me in different ways, but it doesn't have to be everybody
Mm.
with me. Yeah.
I
So
like to think of it as you're not sharing what you had for breakfast every day,
exactly. Yeah.
unless you're a food stylist, right?
Well, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, the sharing is it's personal on how much you want to put out there and how much you don't. I like to keep
Mm.
it professional but with a bit of me so people understand who I am.
Absolutely. And it's good to feel that you've found your balance. You seem incredibly comfortable in social media now. And I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we have to find that as business people, we have to find the relationship with social media and what works for us because it's business. Unfortunately, that's it. You may not like it, but you've got to pick your platform where you feel your market is and try and experiment and see what posts work for you and what don't.
Yeah, I appreciate that too. It's Do you find that one platform's better than the other for you?
They're two different. As you said, I mostly are on Facebook and Instagram. I do have a little bit of LinkedIn, but I really haven't gone into it that much. So my two, not saying I'm an expert, but the two I use are
Mm.
mostly Facebook and Instagram. Facebook, I get most of my clients, if they're not people that have referred, what happens is I find people refer me, like a client will refer me. Someone will jump onto my Facebook page and start following me. Then
Yep.
they usually message me or a conversation starts from that. So I find the actual getting the work is from there. The Instagram is people having a look at the pictures, having a look at the videos, and it's certain times of the evening. My clients are on there, so I'll pop something on at that time. But I still find that for me, my work still transitions back through Facebook, is where the connection for getting a job from a client or something. But I feel I need both, because people, refer, they talk, they ask for a stylist. Oh, she's on Instagram, pop on and see, follow her there, or, pop onto Facebook and follow her there. So I needed both, but I find both are totally different. Yes.
That's good to know as well. And I think there's often mixed reports on whether Facebook is a platform to be on, because things are forever changing and there's new platforms coming out.
Yeah.
And you're backing up a consistent trend of Facebook is still very much a place to be, but people
It
are
is.
transitioning how they're using it.
Yes.
And private is the way, more so than ever with Facebook, as in the messenger is a very powerful tool and people
Yes.
like to chat there. You won't necessarily engage as much on the posts
Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll find that people will message you through Messenger, and you need, even like a lot of people think they don't need the social media. You still do, because even if you get someone is referred, people like to follow people. People like to see, what is she doing. Does she have any testimonials? How long has she been doing it for? Who's her client? Like for me, I'm a stylist. People think because I'm little that I can only style little people. But if they go onto my social media, they can see that I work with men, I work with women, I work with all different shapes and sizes. And that's why you need your social media. You need it so people can research about you. Even though
Yeah.
they've been referred, they hear about you, or they've come across a post or something, they need, I find, if someone's going to engage me, they've already gone through and had a look, and things like that. Because I say to them, oh, follow me on my page, have a look and see what I'm about. Once I've had a chat with them, they say, oh, we've already done that. So,
Yep.
yeah.
You're right. You don't realize, people assume that they're just that first point of contact when they pick up the phone
Mm.
or send that message over
Yeah.
Facebook or Instagram or email,
No, there's
that
been a
that's the first
lot of
time.
contact. No, there's been a lot of contact, a lot of touch points
Yep.
before that. Like, especially for a stylist, because it's so personal, normally it's a referral. Okay, from that referral, then they get onto the Facebook page, or then they get on, say, onto the Instagram. If it's someone coming through the website, like they've read everything, and then they jump onto the social media.
Yep.
So they could come from all different avenues, but you find out that they've already been on the social media, they've already done the research, they've already read your reviews, they've watched your videos to see if they can get that connection, because what I do is so personal. They need to
Mm.
know whether they can work with me, and me too. I need to know. That's the reverse, where I like to have a chat with them first as well, to see whether we're connected, whether we're going to be able to work together.
Yeah, I appreciate that too. You epitomize what it is like to make the most of what you have and make sure that you've covered off all your bases. And I love that. And I do
Yeah,
in so many ways.
yeah,
It's really important. I think just to make the most of what you got. I I have to say you're the inspiration for how I'm transitioning with what I'm new offering I have for my business at the moment, because of seeing your success. Like, you, to see how you can achieve what you do without doing anything in the paid arena is incredible. Like, I see, um, you are now getting booked by shopping centres to be their personal stylist and booking out workshops for shopping centres. And I've seen a number of photos of your face on a billboard promoting the shopping centre, and people are like getting selfies with the photo, which I find amazing. And so you attract people now through what you've been doing organically, not just to get people who are booking you for those personal services, but you're also, and you mentioned before as well, doing return to work workshops with women who have been out of the workforce for a while.
yes, yeah,
And all those opportunities are coming through to you through, again, your confidence in putting yourself out there, learning brand new tools, like learning social media and putting yourself out there.
Yeah, it's true. And I'm not going to say it's easy. It's quite daunting in the beginning, but after a while it becomes a routine that that's part of you want business and you want work. Like, just for instance, as I said this morning, I was up early. I went to a networking function at 7 o'clock in the morning. One of the ladies at the table said, "Oh, she was astounded that I was a stylist. She didn't know there was one in the area." And the first thing she said to me, "Do you have a Facebook page?" I said, "Of course." And I
Yeah.
said, so even though I'd met her in person, she wanted to get on and follow me and see what I'm really all about. Because even when you meet someone in person and you're at function, you only have a few minutes to have a chat. They're really not getting to know you. But that was my first touch with her. That was touch number one. So she'll go onto my Facebook page and transition to my Instagram, most probably talk to other women that have used me and things like that.
Went
So
down the rabbit hole.
even, go down the rabbit hole. Yeah, I need to know what next. I'm not very good with expressions. So, what does that mean? He says, it means she couldn't stop watching them. Okay. There is so many touch points, and you do need the social media. You do need the Facebook or the Instagram or wherever your clients are, and there's a lot to it. So it's not just posting willy-nilly. It's roughly knowing about the time your audience is going to be on, and I might schedule a couple of posts then, and then I know my audience is women or mums and that. So by 8-9 o'clock at night, they're possibly just getting back on there again. So it's knowing when to as well, and that takes time and learning from you on how to see when someone's on there. I didn't even know how to see where the lights are lit up at the sides. I didn't even know that until you told me. So there's a lot of little things that we don't know, and we need an expert to show us and teach us.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that too, because I can see fashion lights you up.
I love it.
And
Love it,
seeing
love it,
people
love it.
get in there and make the most of it.
Yeah.
What lights me up is being able to sit here and hear your success. And I see your success because you've been brave enough. And this is something I would say, anyone that's watching now, social media is one of those visible things where you have to accept that things won't work sometimes.
Yes.
And that will stop a lot of people from doing it and taking risks. And what you've shared today, hope gives more people that opportunity to go, okay, if she can do it, I can too.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, if I can do it, and I started at 50 and had no idea, and I'm still running a business 10 years down the track, then yeah, you can do it. Yeah. Believe
Then
in
you aren't
yourself.
just running the business, you are thriving in business.
Thank you, Serena. Yeah.
You are.
I'm happy. I'm happy with where I'm going with it. I am really happy.
Yeah.
Other things that you've taught me is to look at my analytics as well. Just have a look, see where the up and down, and what posts worked and what posts didn't. So it's all not just getting on there and posting. It's knowing how to use it and when to use it and what works and what doesn't.
That's a beautiful thing. And I love that Chantal just put up there as well. That those of you who are watching today, thanks, Chantal. Chantal is our incredible live stream producer who is in the background here, making sure that we are doing what we need to do to be here. And I love being able to engage with experts. So when it regards to live streaming, this is Chantal. And I appreciate you saying that we're willing to test, trial and fail and step up and grow. I was having a beautiful chat this morning with, I was going to say, it's actually with my brother. And this is it's personal, but that's okay. And that's where it goes sometimes. When you're understanding the difference between small business and entrepreneur, small business can be running a business and doing really well at staying in the lines, so to speak. Being an entrepreneur, you break new ground. And that means that you've figured out a new way to do something and you're pursuing it, and it sort of often sits in that place just outside of your comfort zone and breaking that new ground. And you can be a small business owner and an entrepreneur, but in a small business owner, it doesn't have to be an entrepreneur. And their small business can stay there in their lane, and that's awesome, and be used for things and be comfortable. But to grow, then you need the entrepreneurial spirit. And you step outside and you go into that place of vulnerability. And that place of vulnerability means it's not always going to work, or it may work differently, but you've got to go there to grow. And Chantal, when you put that up there on screen, you reminded me of that conversation with him. I come from a family of entrepreneurs and small business owners, and that's where our conversation was headed this morning. I want to help just not my family. I want to help as many people as possible. I love helping you, Antoinette, and I love working with Chantal as well. It is the opportunity to help people to be more comfortable being in the entrepreneurial space, to see things for what they are, those opportunities, and know that sometimes they're not going to always work, but if you give them an opportunity, they can. And Antoinette, you, again, I've said it more than once today, because you are a shining example. You've been brave enough to try new things and continue to try new things, and I love that. I love that you don't attach a strong number to that. You decided at 50, because like, who has to? This is the balance, right? And I think you could start at 18, but you don't necessarily have life experience. You could still win and still work too, but you have to be surrounded by people who can help. Yeah. Oh, dear. I love how my brain sometimes goes, and I think, do you ever feel like your brain's going in multiple directions? And you're like, which one do you want to go first?
It's too many ideas.
Yeah. Harnessing the ideas is, I think, what's been able to get you to where you are today as well.
It's true. Very true.
Yeah. I love it. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Antoinette. I love that you've been able to take time out in your busy schedule to join me and talk about your success. And I love the fact that you're doing things unconventionally to be able to have the life you want. And it does start with you understanding exactly what it is you want first and foremost to be able to get it.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that you have me as one of the experts in your circle to help you continue to grow and do what you do.
Thank you, Serena.
Yeah, absolutely. And for anyone who's interested in the membership program I do have available, thank you, Chantal. I've got a link up on the screen now for you to go and see if it's the right fit for you. If you need some help in the social media space, particularly if you're feeling like it's overwhelming and you are shooting all over yourself, I want you to see that you don't have to do anything you don't want to, and you will make your life easier if you have clearer intentions of why you are there and can see the business benefit. Because, you know, we all really want to have the life we want, right? And I think there's an easier way to do it. And that's one of the reasons why I created the membership. Is there anything else you'd love to add, Antoinette, before we finish for today?
That you're a good teacher. So if anyone wants to learn.
Thank you. I wasn't wishing for a compliment, but thank you.
No, it's true that you make it easy to understand. Yeah. It's just what I want to add. You make it easy to understand, and and you need to love your social media. You need to love when you're putting things on, you need to be in that frame of mind that you are happy, you are doing it, because it shows up in your posts and what you're saying and what you're doing. Yeah. Instead of just slapping it on and walking away.
I appreciate you say that beautifully.
Yeah,
You're
post
right.
with intention.
Yep. Beautiful.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Everyone have an amazing week and, well, month really. We'll be live streaming again second Tuesday next month. And we'll also be having weekly videos on the Better Budgets YouTube channel. So do tune in, subscribe, and my aim is that everyone here is able to have better budgets for business and life. So you can actually spend more time doing what you really want to.
Bye, Serena.
Bye, Antoinette.